So I created my very first Oracle deck, and it was entitled the Pocket Deck. And Pocket stands for Painting on Conscious Karmic Entangled Textile. It's another way to say that your mind is like a blank canvas. Your thoughts are like the paint, and your feelings are like the paintbrush. You decide what you do with that paint. You decide what you do with those thoughts. You decide where you put your focus and attention. And the thing about it is that you can make this decision every single day. Just because you have a bad day or you mess around and make a mess on that canvas because you are out of control with your thoughts, because you are out of control with your emotions, and you allow it to overtake all your energy, and you allow whatever you painted to control your dominant vibration and to bring you down to a place of anger, resentment, frustration, jealousy, vengefulness, rage, fear, depression. If you allow that color to be dominant, you have to understand that you made that choice. So when I created that deck, I created it just to kind of subtly remind people that it starts with you. It starts with you because it can't go anywhere until you put your foot on the gas. You're not the only creator here. Other people definitely play a role in your experience, but they can't get in until you let them in. And in is where the power is. It's like a video game, right? You know, it's like you'll have 9 lives, or this character has these abilities, and unless you allow a person to, completely take away all of your power, completely diminish everything that you've got to throw at them, you still have another chance. You still have another life. You still have another level, and you still have another chance to bounce back to where you started. You know, we start as kids. We don't know our boundaries. We don't know our limitations. We just know this is what we want to do. We have almost no impulse control. I want to do it, and I need to know what will happen if I do it. Besides mommy and daddy or guardian saying, don't do it, I got to know what's beyond that don't do it. It has to make sense to me, or why else am I going to listen to you versus my own instincts to want to know or try something? In life, we start off with this blank canvas, and then something happens that shows us a limitation, or shows us this is the way, or shows us consequences, or shows us rewards, and then we have to decide what we think about that, what we think about what life has shown us based on our actions, based on us, our thoughts, or based on us deciding to take a certain, route. And sometimes we think, oh, wow, I like this place. Sometimes we think, oh, wow, I like what's being drawn. I like what I see. But sometimes we're absolutely terrified of the world response to us, of what we find, of what's on the other side of that curiosity that we're born with. And as we go through life, as we progress, we have to get to this place of, how can I coexist with the limitations or the truths that this world has shown me in reaction to my curiosities? How can I coexist with people's judgments of my character, or their judgments of my gender, or my sexuality, or my thoughts, or my beliefs? How can I coexist whereas though I can make this place work for me? And this is where you get to decide how high the volume will be of the outside world, and how much control that will have over your inside world. Will you appreciate being here? Will you, as you're turning into a young adult, into adulthood, will you decide that this place has more to offer you than just a bunch of limitations or judgments or negativity based on their reactions to what you've been painting? You have to be a deliberate painter and understand the difference between deliberate and complex. When I say deliberate, I mean you design it. You decide where those thoughts will live in your mind. You decide how something will affect you. You decide how much power you give your thoughts, how much power you give to the world. And when I say that, I want you to understand that I'm not saying that you have to do this whole elaborate, thing where you have to design it in a way that it has to make sense to everybody else and make everyone else happy. It has to look a certain way, and this is the color of hope. And you can do whatever the hell you want to do. What I'm saying is that you need to just do it. Because if you sit back and allow other people or life in general and circumstances to design your life, you will just be along for the ride. You can have the most simple life. You can have the most adventurous experience. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you have to design it. You got to take out the canvas. You have to take your paint and take the paintbrush and draw what it is that you want in this place. How you want your days to look. If that means I want sunshine on my face all day long, then draw a sun and draw a face and draw some rays beaming down on it. Metaphorically speaking. You know what I'm saying? What I want to express is that you have to hold on to that design. And when it bumps up against what other people want, you have to hold on even stronger to that design, because you are the most valuable player in your experience. And what I've learned, and I've always had an issue with, well, how come bad things happen? How come there's so much sadness in life? And how come there's so many people who just seem to want to make other people miserable and want to control other people? And how come it seems like they're allowed to do that? And what I realized, and what I've also read as I've delved more into the law of attraction and what life is, and energy and vibration, is that there is nothing saying no. There is nothing saying no, that's not allowed. There's no overpowering force that is regulating it to say, no, that's not allowed. It's just a matter of energy. So if more energy is pointing in this direction, that thing is going to happen. If more energy is pointing in the opposite direction of something going on, that thing is not going to happen. But there's nobody sitting there regulating and saying, hold on, wait a minute, let this person figure out their power. Let them tap in first. Make sure their eyes are open before you ring the bell. There is nobody doing that. So it's your job to do it. It's your job to make your dominant energetic field and vibration focus on what it is that you want to attract into your experience, so much so that anything that comes up against it will find itself powerless. That is your assignment. And the beauty about it is that the only rule is that you need to draw. Not that it has to be pretty to other people. Not that it has to include certain colors in it. Not that it has to be done using this particular pencil or pen. Just that you have to draw, and you have to draw what you really, really want. Because by drawing what you really want every single day, you keep your attention on what you really, really want. Not on what you don't want, not on what you're afraid of, not on your fears, not on your traumas, not on those things that you don't, because there is nothing saying this is not going to harm you, except for your attention and your energy pointed strongly into the direction of what will make your heart smile.